Good morning from a beautiful Austin, Texas. My name is Sam. Thank you for joining me today. If you are new to my video blog, welcome. I hope that the information that you hear and see is both helpful and redemptive and comforts you regardless of where you're at, regardless of what country you might be in. If you are a veteran to this video blog, welcome back. And as always, thank you for being with me today. Today I'm talking about signs that the unfaithful, or the wayward, as some people call them, are unsafe. Now, first we talk about what is unsafe. Does unsafe mean Sam, are you saying that if I'm an unfaithful or a wayward and I'm unsafe, that I can't be married, I can't live in the same house, we have to spend time apart? I'm not alleging any of that. But if you are working with any type of therapist or coach who knows what they are doing, who is an expert, they will tell the betrayed party if you seem unsafe. And if you seem unsafe, that speaks to the fact that you're probably not cooperating with recovery work. It means that you're probably not in a safe position to communicate with. It means that mentally or emotionally, psychologically, you might not be in a position for them to want to work with you. It might also mean that they are just not going to move towards you. They're going to move away from you. They're going to pull back from you because they feel unsafe. Being unsafe means that the betrayed might also not even want to give you a chance at restoration yet. They may be told, or they may observe themselves, hey, he or she is not safe, so I'm not going to do much work with them. So if you're an unfaithful, today it's kind of like I'm giving you a bit of a cheat sheet. Because if you're doing these things, you're unsafe. If you're doing these things, you're probably not in a good position. And quite honestly, I think that you're going to experience your betrayed party pulling back from you, putting up walls, and frustrating the hell out of you because you might want to do all that you could to get them back and to restore your little family if you have kids. But if you are doing these things, I promise you, they're going to have a very difficult time, probably get frustrated, and may even pull away from you. And in some cases, it might mean separation. It might mean divorce. It might mean that someone behind the scenes is hearing about your behavior who knows what they are doing, and they tell your betrayed partner, hey, they are unsafe. You should keep your distance. So today I'm going to give you some very practical, very hard-hitting help that when you're unsafe, you're probably doing some of these things. And of course, today's list is not exhaustive, but I think it will convey the message that both the betrayed and the unfaithful need to hear. The first sign that you might be unsafe is when you are constantly defensive of your actions. As soon as the betrayed want to have a discussion or talk about what they're feeling or talk about what's happened, and you shudder in defensiveness. Defensiveness is actually blaming the other party. So when you constantly blame, well, if you'd have been a better spouse, if you'd have done this, if you'd have done that, if you wouldn't have done this, and constantly blaming the betrayed party, you're not safe because you're putting the responsibility of your actions on them. You're placing the responsibility for what you did on them, and that's never acceptable. As long as we blame other people for our actions and then get defensive about it, how are we safe? How are we someone that can be trusted to try and save that relationship? The second sign that you, as a wayward or unfaithful, are unsafe is a lack of remorse or compassion. Now, just recently, I did a video on self-preoccupation or self-absorption with our own consequences and our own shame. It's vital that the betrayed are experts at what is authentic and what is not. When there's authentic remorse, if you come from the faith community, you're looking for contrition, brokenness, repentance, remorse, godly sorrow, as they would say. You're looking for those things. If you don't come from faith, you're looking for compassion for the impact of their choices upon you. Unfaithful, if there's no remorse, if there's not compassion, if there's just defensiveness and anger and lashing out, if anytime they bring it up, there is this rage and anger that comes out of you, you might actually be angry at yourself and you're projecting it onto your betrayed party. But nevertheless, if that's all they encounter, how are you safe to pursue? How are you safe to work with? They can't get through to you. They might not even be trying to shame you or attack you. They're just trying to be safe and compassionate for you, but they can't even get to you because you have this wall of anger and rage that keeps them away. The next sign is you're just not approachable. And that's kind of difficult. I just alluded to it, but let me go a step further and say, if they're trying to ask you to get help, but you're refusing, or if they're trying to ask you to do an intensive or go get therapy or do a free boot camp on our website or an online course and you are like, no, I don't need, this is what, if there is a statement that makes your friend Sam want to I'll just say, this statement boggles my mind and drives me nuts. And it's not a shaming mentality, because I'm sure I said it early on. But here's the statement. I don't need somebody to tell me what I need to do. I know what I need to do. Really? Okay, big guy. How about you do it? Okay, big girl. How about you actually do it? The problem is you're not doing it. So you may say what you need to do, but until you're actually doing it, your betrayed parties kind of sit back going, you just kind of look like a prideful jerk. You just look like a arrogant man or woman who just keeps saying they know what they need to do, but they're not doing it. And I'm sorry, but look, you don't know what you need to do. If you did know what you need to do, you'd be doing it because you would be aware of how much pain your betrayed party is in due to you not doing what you should be doing, because you say that you know what you should be doing, but you're not doing it. Look at the pain in your betrayed's heart and life. I beg of you, humble yourself. Realize you're at the end of your rope. Realize this is above your pay grade. And get the help that is available to you. Another sign that you're unsafe, and this is maybe tough to wrap your mind around, or it might hit you right between the eyes, because I used to be like this, is it's being intimacy avoidant. And what that means is you're just avoiding the issue because you are afraid to be intimate, because you probably have some developmental trauma. You might have some family of origin issues. And so you are being extremely avoidant because you're terrified of intimacy. You don't even know how to do it. It wasn't modeled for you. Or maybe you were vulnerable and intimate at one time, and you were taken advantage of. You were hurt, you were abused, you were violated, and you said, never again. But unfortunately, as long as you remain avoidant, as long as you are intimacy avoidant, you are walling out your partner. You are pushing them away, and you might be pushing the entire process of restoration away. Finally, and I've saved the most difficult for last, is if you're still in contact with your affair partner, you're absolutely unsafe. Number one, because as long as you have this competing force, you're never going to be able to give your betrayed partner all of you. There's going to be this conflict. Subpoint B is, as long as you still have them in your life, you're conflicted, you can't think straight, and you might be in a very ambivalent, unsure place. I totally get that. But there will have to be a season of absolutely no contact from your affair partner if you're going to give your relationship a chance. If there's a constant back and forth, if you have this conflicted situation, you're not going to be safe. You're not going to be able to even think clearly. And see, here's what we do as unfaithful. When we are involved with our affair partner, oftentimes we cannot cultivate humility. We can't cultivate safety because we're still involved, which makes us get angry with our betrayed, and we blame them and we say, you know what, if you weren't like this, I wouldn't need this person. So there is no cultivating of humility, compassion, remorse, and empathy. There's very little cultivation of safety because you're still involved, which makes your mind so distorted and crazy, and without any semblance of peace. As I leave you today, some of you might say, well, Sam, when do we talk about the betrayed? What about the betrayed when I try and talk or when I try and do this? What about when the betrayed acts in an unsafe way? I'm so glad you've asked, because my next video will actually be with an expert where we'll talk about some of the things that the betrayed do that can really sabotage recovery efforts. I wish you nothing but courage to face yourself today. Courage to face yourself, find out what is there in an unflinching way. Get the help you need. You are not beyond reach. You are not a mistake. You have not ruined your life forever. There's hope for you today.